All right, chat. Soldier time. Soldier Unranked to GM. So this is actually a good map to get Soldier in, because I'm pretty sure they even play Soldier in Overwatch League on this map. And I remember a long time ago, I think his name was XZI. He also plays Soldier on this map, and his tracking was insane. I just want to take left side control here and rocket jump over this here to get there a little bit faster. Bob and get high ground here. So since they don't have high ground, I can free shoot on them. And I want to try and focus squishies as much as possible. I want to focus squishies as much as possible. Especially since Sigma pushed up here. Because when Sigma pushed up here, it's harder for him to shield me off. Because his shield is going to be at a very odd angle for his teammates if he wants to shield me off. So also I can bait out shield early on and hopefully break his shield. That way I can start shooting him for free. So just staying high ground. It's gonna make it a lot easier to aim on the enemies when one, they're not focused on you too much, and two, you have high ground advantage onto them. So you're less of a threat of dying to them. Just spamming my right click as much as possible on the squishies whenever I can. Looking at the enemies of who's low, because if they're low, I can easily finish them off with Soldier, especially when I'm standing long range. All right, so now that I dropped down to push in with my Doomfist, I need to go back up because we won the fight, and I need to get back in a position. Always start the fight, if possible, on a high ground, because you can always drop down, but it's way harder to get high ground in the middle of the fight because it takes a lot longer. So always take high ground in the beginning if possible.
Good choice.
All right, so I got advice in this fight. So none of my teammates are high ground right now, and I saw the whole enemy team moving up to high ground, which told me that I had to drop down. Don't pick the high noon. I think my Doomfist was ulting to kill them both. I can push them out here probably. Come on, I can't. Fast. Did use all her cooldowns unnecessarily there, so I could punish her. Alright, just start high ground again. And just rinse and repeat. Just make sure that if they get too close, I drop down and I keep my distance on Soldier. And I use my rockets on the squishies as much as possible as well. That's a good Doomfist response. We can either go left side or main here, but I want to take left side, take high ground, and run back, because I don't think my team's gonna go here. I want to run back if the enemy team is too many. But luckily my Doomfish came with me. He was pushing me, fade out his cooldowns, then we can kill him after that. It's just really easy to kill once he uses both his cooldowns. Because with no deflect and no shift to escape, it's a really free kill, especially if he jumps. When he jumps, it's really easy to track him because his movements is most of the time very predictable. The thing about tracking is that it's all about just placing your aim where you think they're gonna go. If you're gonna try and react to where they're always gonna go, then your tracking, in my opinion, is gonna be worse than if you try and predict where they're gonna go. So if you think somebody's gonna go left side, already start moving your mouse left side instead of waiting for them to move left side, if that makes sense. I found that helped my tracking out a lot in the early days. Now I'm gonna go down main again, so we have a little bit of a crossfire because my Hanzo is high ground, my Doom is right side. So I go down main, get some crossfire, especially against Orisa, since whenever she uses her helicopter thing, it can only counter you from one direction. So now I'm not gonna... Oh, I might die here. I'm not gonna wake up Orisa. I want to focus on the squishies before I focus on her. Because Orisa is really hard to kill. You can try and poke her down, but ultimately you're gonna get more value trying to kill the squishies. But she does not die easily. Yeah, the helicopter thing, so... Trying to have a little bit of a crossfire, especially against Orisa. So enemy team is flaming each other now, which is kind of nice to see, which means that we've already broken down the enemies mentally as well. And once the enemies are broken down mentally, their hope is almost gone. And when there's no hope left, there's no dedication to win the game anymore. So now what you could do is you could also play the psychological warfare and start questioning the soldier as to why he wants to report Genji, and actually make themselves enemies. So the Genji has not commented on the accusations against him, but by forcing him to comment on it, you might be able to break them down even further. So there's also a lot of mental warfare in grinding in low rank. So I'm gonna focus the soldier probably here. Just annoy the Orisa here a bit. After we can kill never mind, I can't kill Moira. Just stay high ground whenever you're ulting. Again, I have no reason to touch point right now. Absolutely no reason to touch point, because I'm pretty sure my Doomfist was there, so he could have touched point. But even if we see 9 and we give them point, me staying high ground will make the chance of us winning that fight much higher. And it doesn't matter if we give them a little bit of percentage, because we're at 99%, so we just win. We just need to win one fight. So Hanzo deserves bronze, no cap. All right, 1-0. So on Eichenwalde first point, the only high ground that there is for defense that's useful is this high ground right here. This high ground is not very good. And this high ground over here is too aggressive, which only allows for this high ground right here. Now, this high ground is not good to stand on for a DPS character, because, and I'll show you.
Less than 3.
It's there's so much. This massive pillar in the middle blocks too much line of sight. You do not have the option to shoot the enemies when they come in here first, which is why you want to stand over here. This is the best spot to stand, because you can see them coming in through the main gate, and then you can say, well, once they are through the main gate, you can take high ground, which is true, but taking high ground is going to take too long, so there's no point in doing it. They're just going to poke out people here. Winston, you actually want to focus Winston a lot as soldier. You want to try and shoot him as much as possible, because if you get Winston low all the time, he has no time or no opportunity to go in. So, but I kind of want to kill this Pharah Mercy right now. I got the Mercy, but I don't think that's going to work. So you want to focus the Mercy if possible against Pharah Mercy, because if you just kill the Pharah, the Mercy can rest a lot of the times. But I don't think my teammates will be able to kill the Pharah, even though she doesn't have heal. Now I actually want to go high ground again, because the difference between going left side and right side isn't really that big, but I can get high ground from going right side, so I'm just gonna go right side now and take high ground. But again, if we win the fight now, I actually want to go down already now and start playing aggressive, because as you guys could see there, I didn't have any line of sight to focus the enemies if I stayed on high ground, except for when they're pushing on point. So only when they're on point and through choke is a good time to take high ground. But the only reason why I had an opportunity to go there was because I was respawning.
This ends now.
I want to vice this, because I want to counter his ult actually. But there's a Winston bubble right in front of me, which means that I'm gonna have to start AD spamming. Oh. I don't want to peek that because I'm low and the Pharah is spamming the choke right now. So I was just gonna go back out again. I've actually died quite a lot this game so far. Gonna go out, play a bit aggressive. Again, try and shoot the Winston whenever I see him come through main, because a lot of Winstons typically don't dive if they're like below half HP or something like that, which they shouldn't, obviously. So if you just constantly like poke him out and keep him around half HP or lower, I already use Susu. He's gonna have a hard time going in. Gotta watch out for the Sojourn, because the Sojourn is playing pretty well. So I heard Sojourn go up there, but I got baited. Alright, Sojourn's dead. I think I heard Sojourn go up here, but I didn't hear the pharah above me, so. Alright. Team is doing really well right now, actually. Again, no reason for me to push up, because what happens is that. Luckily, we got a trade on it, and there's Sojourn a little too aggressive there. We can kill the Mercy here. With Visor, you always want to try and go for the squishies, obviously. Because even if you hit all your bullets on a ball, for example, it's not really going to do a lot of damage to him anyways. So try and focus the squishies, because that's where you're going to get the most value with it. So usually if they play pharah, what they're going to do is they're going to spam the entrance, and they played a lot of pharah beforehand, which is why I want to look through the windows of the wall to see if there's a pharah flying above here. And if there is, he's most likely going to be spamming the main entrance. So don't just go out and face tank all the rockets if possible. So I want to stay far back right now, because I have absolutely no reason to push in too far. I like to go right side here and take a bit of crossfire with my team, and especially take these staircase right here. These stairs are really strong, because without them knowing, I can push all the way up here. Oh. Oh, never mind. I just missed a ton of shots. So I'm just going to go back now. Actually, now they think I'm going to be over there, so I'm going to push back in. So use Soldier's run to your advantage if possible. Because you can get better positioning really fast, faster than what people expect with your rotations by running. So try and run back and forth a bit. It actually does disorientate a lot of people, and like, where are you? And you can surprise people with a different position all the time. So that was my thought process there, by running back and forth from those two spots. Let's see what they're going to play. Always go over here. There's no reason to flank a soldier right here. There's absolutely no reason. Because you can pump in so much damage by staying back here, especially since you can play around the line of sight of these things right here. They're playing Widow right now, so I need to be a little bit more careful of how I peek. I need to jiggle peek a little bit more than I would typically. Dodge the Strider fight. Reinhardt typically want to Strider fight you whenever he's chasing you, so just like try and make a few zigzag moves. You be careful for the Widow still. She's still a threat. Alright, and now that I got 2 picks, we're up at least a couple. This gives me an opportunity to start going for a flank. And start, again, cross-firing them from different positions, because it's way harder for them to orientate themselves on where to shoot, where to go, if there's people from all, like, every angle. So. Alright, just gotta play safe. There's no reason for me to peek the Widow. Me peeking the Widow is only gonna increase the chance of her hitting a headshot on me. If I can Visor here, we might actually lose this fight. Reload while Genji is deflecting, because while he's deflecting, there's no need to just look at him if you can min-max your position, your situation by using the time to reload. So I know Widow has wall hack, which means that I have to really be careful on how I peek the corners. She's 1 HP now, so I don't know how much she's gonna be peeking. I might get that healed. So the thing about Widow is that whenever she uses wall hack, she makes a she says a sentence. I can't remember what she says. But you can hear it, and wall hack lasts for 15 seconds. So what you can do is once you hear that voice line, you can look at the timer in the top, in the middle of the screen, the one that says 7 minutes and 21 seconds. And you can subtract, is that the word, 15 seconds from that. So if they were to use Widow ult now, her Widow ult would be over at 7 minutes. So that's what I typically do in my games every time that I play against a Widow. That way I know whenever her wall hack is over and I can peek again. So he's ulting now, so I'm just gonna run. There's no need for me to try and fight the Genji when he's ulting, because I'm not gonna win. We win these, so we got forward spawn. I can't finish the Ana here, but at least Orisa isn't chasing me. I can shoot him from above here, just keep high ground. There's no need for me to push down and touch cart here. No, he got my health back. I'm dead. Oh, that was a bad ult. My thought process was that Reaper was half HP and I could take the health pack, so I would be full HP, but he got it and he got healed more than I thought, so that was a bad ult. Help me out. Thank you. Big heals from the supports. Reaper doesn't have shift right now, so I could try and focus him with my Doomfish. Also, 100% go for headshots. Go for headshots on Orisa as much as possible. She's one of the few characters that I would highly recommend to just try and only go for the head, because one, her head is really easy to hit, and two, her movement is very slow and predictable. So by constantly going for headshots, you'll be doing more damage in the long run, I believe. Of course, I can't headshot her when she's facing her back towards me. Then you can just go for headshots. But whenever she's looking at you, 100% try and get as many headshots in as possible. All right, somebody needs to move card, and my team's not, so I'm gonna go back and do it. Just spamming them from long range. I'm actually gonna use Visor here. So there's a Reaper behind me, and I don't know if he has ult, but if he does, I kind of just want to get away from him as fast as possible. But he did have ult, which a lot of the times, if a Reaper TPs in the back line like that, most of the time he has ult. So if I didn't run away from him, he would have ulted me and most likely killed me. So stuff like that is something that you'll pick up over time, that if like characters do certain things, they're most likely to so she's gonna ult. So the reason why I knew that the Orisa was gonna ult is she was running in a straight line towards me and ignoring the people in her back, because she want to catch as many people in her ult as possible. So when I see that, what I want to do is I want to get away from her as much as possible, as far as possible. Preferably play around line of sight so she can't see me. You recommend mainly for body shots on other characters? Yeah, I would mainly recommend going for body shots for other characters, because it's hard to track a head. Characters like Cassidy, you can probably go for headshots, but for characters where you're tracking, most of the time it is really hard to track a small hitbox like a head. So going for body shots most of the time will give you better damage outcome. You could try and aim for like their chest, so you're not too far from their head. Try to aim for like the chest area, because then again, you're not too far from the head, but you're not aiming at their feet either, because if you're aiming at their feet, then chances of you accidentally like hitting a headshot is much lower. What about crouch spam? I tend to if I'm ever facing, so if I visor and I'm facing someone like if I'm facing like a Sojourn, for example, I like to crouch spam, like crouch 80 spam whenever I'm visoring, because again, I'm gonna hit all my shots, but it's way harder for them to hit you. So the reason for why 80 spam is so hard to hit, especially for characters that are tracking, is because it's so unpredictable. And again, we talked about in the games before that tracking is a lot about just moving your crosshair where you think they're going, so pretty much predicting where they're gonna go. So that's why 80 spamming is so hard for pro players, especially as well, is because it's so unpredictable. So just no need for me to push up and start face tanking the Orisa. One thing that I've seen a lot of plat players and diamond soldiers doing is they would be pushing up way too aggressive. There's no need for you to push up as a soldier against an Orisa or a Reinhardt. You should not be trying to take a punch fight or fist fight against any tank characters as a soldier. So you always want to try and keep your distance as much as possible. So that was a bad visor. I'm not going to get a lot of value with it. I just kind of clicked it for whatever reason. I don't know. That was bad. So she's ult, or she's just going, yeah, so she has ult. So the reason why I knew she had ult is, again, she just walks in a straight line very aggressively for no apparent reason other than to use her ultimate. So there's like different cues that characters have that will like alarm you that they are gonna ult. Some cues give you a warning far in advance, others don't. So for example, Genji is an example that doesn't give you a warning cue far in advance, but every time you see a Genji dash straight up in the air, the Genji is most likely gonna ult. So Genji dashing up in the air is most likely a indication that he's gonna ult. Same with the Sojourn. If Sojourn shifts into the enemy team, if you have a Sojourn just like out of nowhere just shifts into the enemy team, so you will most likely ult. So those are some things that you'll slowly pick up over time, and you can use them to your advantage. By the time you see them, you can start running away and start taking cover. That's the best advice that I can give. So I wanted to kill the Bastion there. Also, use your rockets. Aim your rockets at people's feet, because a lot of the times, if you aim for their body, if you miss them, it won't hit. But if you aim at their feet, then you will. You can even get value by the splash damage that it deals. So, I'm gonna go left side and stay at the elephant here. We can have a little bit of crossfire on the enemies. Put down my healing station because the tracer's on me. Tracer can't really do much to me by herself if I'm staying in my healing station. So I want to stay in it as much as possible. Again, I want to keep the distance because if I get too close, what's going to happen is that the D.Va is going to fly onto me and do a ton of burst damage to me and might even kill me. So just keep my distance because it's going to make it a lot harder for Junkrat and D.Va especially to kill me. So we have a Mercy pocketed pharah, which means that as long as we start do a little bit of crossfiring everywhere. I'm going to say crossfiring a lot in these games because it is really strong for Soldier, especially since he's one of the fastest DPS characters with his sprint ability. So just want to take a little bit of I want to take position away from my team, but not too far away either, because if I do that, I might have D.Va fly towards me and kill me if she coordinates it well with the tracer as well. Am I doing Soldier now? Is Soldier's done? So they use lamp very aggressively here. Very aggressively. So I didn't have anybody to shoot except for the D.Va, but that's okay because getting D.Va out of Meg is very strong, especially since we have pharah. We could have probably won that with Nano Pharah, but it is what it is. Use the break ult. They want to break ult in the future. Okay, we're gonna Nano Ram instead. Okay, that could also work. In fact, that actually worked. Kind of dies from me, D.Va.
Impersonate somebody else.
All right. Just go left side again here. There's no need for me to stay main, I don't think. I don't feel like. Because left side is gonna be shooting them on the side, which is gonna have them have their focus away from my tank in the main, which means that he is less pressured, so he might be able to get more value. I think my mercy wasn't with my pharah there. That's unlucky. So what D.Va should have done there? This is now not only a soldier educational video. That D.Va should have waited to use D.Va ult before she used all of her matrix. When you have matrix in the tank, like that D.Va did right there, you want to use all of it before using your ultimate, especially if you're countering an ultimate like Visor. We might be able to die here. I'm dead here. All right, one more fight. Don't have anything right now. He has ult though. She wants to remake on me. Also, I wanted to use Visor before she got make, but she remake the moment I use Visor, so that's a bit unlucky. Now we have Ramatra ult though. And nano boost. We have nano boost for Matra. That's gonna do a ton of damage to the enemies. So just had better ults than the enemies at in the last fight. And that's how we won that fight. Also, it's very hard to use. It's very hard to use Visor against a D.Va because, again, she can matrix a vast majority of it, which is why I wanted to try and use it before she remake. I knew she had ult. The reason for why she jumped forward and back all the time is because she had ult and she wanted to remake onto one of us to try and get a kill that way. Again, like we talked about before, there is a few warning signs before someone's gonna ult, and a D.Va pushing up aggressively around a corner is a sign that she will try and remake onto you. But sadly, she remake the time that I used Visor, and I couldn't kill Soldier before she remakes. So I'll just get back again. While we want to go left side, there's no reason to go right side here unless you're Tracer. If you're Tracer, you want to go right side, but everybody else should just stick to the left side here. Play up a bit aggressive here to take high ground of the enemies. Position or having a better position than the enemies is very valuable. I don't know where my Ramatra is. My Ramatra decided to go point, which you shouldn't do because now he's pretty much left his whole team to die. In the background here, while the enemy team is free firing on him on point because he doesn't have long range damage. Luckily, their Ramatra decided to rotate to point as well instead of just pushing us. If the enemy team just held W on us, we would have all died, while our Ramatra would have stayed on point without getting any value because his long range damage is not good. So we got a little bit lucky there that the enemy team did not punish our position. I just kind of want to fall back. I don't want to stay too far up here. I've never really liked this position, so we can easily get punished and get staggered from each other. Okay, I got lucky that he missed a shot. Oh my, a lot of damage. I don't think my bridge is gonna get it off. He did.
Careful, there's more of them than us.
So our Ramatra is coming back now. I can jump on point, try and juke them, try and get out here. Ah. I probably shouldn't have ran in the middle of them all. All right. Is the Ramatra in voice? Ramatra is in voice. We might be able to micromanage the Ramatra here because his positioning is a little bit off. He doesn't seem to take the space needed, so he takes a lot of space on point, which we don't need when the enemy team is not contesting point, and pushes up aggressively without having to. Reaper's behind us actually. I think Reaper is here. Oh. We need to watch out for Bastion ult. Luckily, it's really hard for him to kill me with his ult because I run fast. So I go zoom. It's really hard for Bastion to kill me with his ult. So tell my team to move back because, again, there's no point in staying in there. It doesn't really grant you anything because there's way too many line of sights for the enemies to play around. Way too many line of sights to play around. That makes it really hard to get picks by pushing up there. So right now, our Ramatra should be playing on the left side with us here, but instead he wants to take a couple of fights on the right side, so we have to help him out. Again, tank is the most valuable character in the game, and if your tank dies and theirs doesn't, you have a very low chance of winning that fight. So he's an ult. So if your tank dies, no matter how many you kill, it's going to be very hard to win the fight still. Done healing station for my Ramatra. Hopefully my kid is going to touch because I'm not. That was a good ult. And then hopefully my team stays on point. Yeah, so don't push up too much and play with us, Ramatra. Don't play by yourself. We gotta tell him to start playing with us because his solo plays are not working, so we need to figure out something else. Oh, I should have killed this in there. If I would have killed this in, it would have been a good pick. Oh, we still got him. Mars on point. So right now, all we have to do is shoot point. Because as long as we kill them on point, we win the game. We don't even have to focus on the people on the left side, really. Because if they can't even touch point, they're not really a threat to us right now. Our combat's actually really good right now. Oh, I see it's a bit windy in Blizzard World right now. It appears to be a bit too windy. That's fine though. That is fine. So staying high ground over there is not really that good because it gives the enemy an opportunity to just ignore you and touch points if they play characters like Doomfist. But luckily their Doomfist is persisting on taking that fight. I am 1 HP actually. So preferably I stay high ground here, but I had to up down to play a bit aggressive with my team, but I can take high ground now again. So just staying high ground, no need for me to really drop down, especially if my teams are playing here. It's a different scenario when they were playing top left. Bonzo's being double pocketed right now, which makes it hard to kill him. They already have Valt. Yeah. Big anti. I don't want to play too aggressive because I'm scared of getting bursted down by Hanzo and so be wary of whatever the word is of Hanzo one shots. Just like a random log hitting you. That can be detrimental. If you really wanna challenge the Hanzo, at least make sure you do it in a spot where your Mercy can rest you. That is the number one tip, that if you do want to challenge the Hanzo, you need to be in a position where your Mercy can rest you.
Nice.
Oh, you almost fell off. But the Doomfist really want to punch me off the map, and he eventually punched himself off the map. So that's another thing, is that Doomfist can easily punch you off the map by punching all the way back there if you stay up here. So sometimes people stand on the left side because it's harder to punch you off the map that way whenever they have a Doomfish. But left side, it is worse in my opinion than right side. Left side, most likely just want to drop down and play down here.
Bionic healing ready for use. Damn it. Tactical termination.
We got Trank out, which means we have nanovisor.
Heroes never die.
We nanovisor. I'm going Hagron. Can you nano?
Oh, one shot.
Oh, that was a really good barrage. I actually didn't think of that. All right, now I just want to run back and get high ground as fast as possible. Especially since I have Widow. I do not want the Widow to get the turret spot, which is this thing right here. If their Widow gets that spot, it's going to be very bad for us. So I actually want to play really aggressive here to make sure that if she jumps up there, I can take a close duel against her. And I can even go for flanks on this side here. I think they're doing this already here. If their Widow grapples up here, I'll be able to kill her. Nice, good heals. Get out of that ult. My Anna is alone right now, and got Kragie TP and saved her. So pharah doesn't have a mercy pocket, so I can focus her a lot more. I have no idea where she is right now. So we're down at least 3 people right now, so I just want to run away as far as possible.
What the fuck, guy?
My Anna is actually surviving a lot right now. Again, I want to take high ground here and challenge the Widow when she's on the turret.
Nice.
I did lose, but it was a trade because my Anna was there to help me out. But yeah, that's why having the Widow stay up there is really bad for you if the Widow's on the enemy team. So you want to try and get her down as far as possible. So she's probably going to go up there again. So that's why I'm taking this aggressive position right now. My Winston is on her. You can kill her. Go. Bro lost to a gold Widow. Guys, gold Widows are good. For some reason, there's 2 people in here that I didn't know of. Dude, the Doomfist ult. It's really hard for Doomfist to hit you if you like constantly like turn around and change direction like this. It's gonna be really hard for Doomfist to hit you. So just try and make as many unpredictable moves as possible whenever Doomfist is ulting.
Nice.
I've got you.
Just gonna follow my. I want to go left side. That's like my default route. So I'm gonna wait for my team to push up first before I push up behind them, because you do not want to front line as Soldier. And now you can actually go up here and take high ground. My Bastion is thinking the same as me right now. So take high ground here and start free shooting the enemies. But watch out for the Hanzo. I actually want to drop down now because I don't want to chase the Hanzo too much. They missed the anti-nade. Pharah might come on the right side here. And I got logged. Normally I would go right side now, but because my team's already fighting, I'm just gonna go main and fight with them. Normally I would take top right at this point, but because we got a pick, what I need to do is I need to group up with my team as fast as possible. I can put down my healing station. I need to group up with my team as fast as possible, so we have that 1-man advantage that my team got us. So, but yeah, doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result is the definition of insanity, which is why if something is not working, don't be shy to switch it up. Nobody wants to go insane. Well, I mean, I didn't really know what to do there. I guess we just kind of accept that at that point. I'm actually gonna take high ground now because there's no need for me to be stacking up on cart with my team when I can take a positional advantage on high ground right here.
Hi.
And I'm gonna go on the right side because taking the left side is too far away, and right side is actually better, especially since where the card is right now. Alt to hopefully scare him away from me, but he persists on running straight at me.
I see honesty.
So but when he keeps running straight at me, there's no need to start pushing towards him. Just keep backing up, and shoot him that way. All right, we went 5-0. What are we getting, chat? What are we getting? I'm gonna come with a wild guess here. Diamond 3. That's the highest you can get. If you go 5-0, you get diamond 3. I do want to show my soldier settings. So I use 800 DPI for in-game sensitivity. I go in controller and I go into advanced, and I by default aim smoothing is to 100%. I put that to 0%. This is my crosshair. Most things are default except for my melee is on middle mouse button. And my pings are on the thing on the side of my mouse. Those are my soldier settings.